Hi, so thank you for talking. What is your name?
My name is Asher.
And did you vote in the recent election?
Yes, I voted for GroenLinks. It's a leftist party which are like environmentalist, and I vote for them because I believe that we need to keep this world place where we still can grow vegetables and stuff like that 100 years from now maybe.
Seems like immigration was a big issue. Was that important to you?
Uh, it's kind of important because like I think that if you allow people to move to other city, you need to have like a certain plan, and you need to know how the situation is, like the political climate. How do other people think of the immigrants is also important. How do the immigrants, how they can like participate in the society in the Netherlands very easily. I think that are things that needs to be think of before you say you allow immigrants, yes or not.
So the issues that were brought up by Gert Wilders and
Yeah.
others is someone you sounds like you did not support. Do you think it was good that those issues were talked about, however, or do you think it was just trouble that was causing?
Yeah, I think that it's good to speak of issues that you find interesting. Like in the end, he got like 2 million voters, so I think a lot of people find it interesting what he speaks. And I think that's also part of politics to work together with this guy and find solutions for the problems that he shows to people.
Let's talk about the solutions. What do you think would be done to make it easier for the new immigrants, easier for the people who live here already?
Well, I think like Geert Wilders focuses mostly on Muslim immigrants. That is has a real problem with people that are Muslim. And yeah, how can you can you repeat your question again?
Yes. How do you think these immigrants coming in now that
Yeah.
have upset Wilders and his supporters?
Yes.
What can they do to make everything better, to make it easier for them, easier for Netherlands?
Yeah, I think like speaking Dutch or like speaking the language of the country that you come to is important. Other than that, yeah, you should be hardworking and try to work. And if you find work, just make sure that you do it in your best ability. And I think other than that, I think like people are allowed to keep their own cultures, because in the end we can learn from how they look at things, and we can have a different perspective, which also helps innovation and business in itself. So
How do you think it's going now? The recent immigrants?
I think if you compare the Netherlands to other countries, like I've been on my exchange to Turkey, and there you see that a lot of the Syrian immigrants, like there are two types, one with money, one without money. The people with money, they start their own business, restaurants, barbershops, and etc. So those don't cause any problem. The problem is with the people that came from a lower social and economic class that have troubles finding work. If they find work, they are maybe not so happy. They quit after a month or two because they think, I am not used to working under these circumstances or the conditions. Because mostly they work in textile industry and working long hours and stuff. Like I understand that you don't want to work under these circumstances, but that's the only way that you can find work. You know, if you don't speak Turkish, if you don't have relevant work experience in a country that has already huge unemployment rates, I think that you should just be happy with what you have. And if you're not happy, then I think like it's possible to send those people back. Like you should not be worried about people that don't accept what you offer them. Like in the Netherlands, if we go back to here, I think it's very goodly organized. Like people have their own houses, even though they are not happy. They say we live with too much people in the house, but nobody can find housing in Amsterdam. So I think you shouldn't be worried about all the issues But like if you look in here, I think like I'm not sure how much refugees we have, but I think a lot of them work in restaurants, etc. So I think it's good. Yeah.
In the United States, they just elected Donald Trump.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? Did that change your opinion of the
I
American
supported Trump since he said that he wanted to move into politics, because I think that in the end, if like a leader is elected and he is people vote for him, I think that you should just respect it. Like also other people, like in for instance Putin, like in his early political years, a lot of people were against Putin. He is a dictator and stuff. But in the end, you can see that he made Russia a very stable country. And I think the same goes on with Erdogan. He's also like, I don't support Erdogan, but in the end, people voted for him, and we should respect it, you know. And in the end, if you also look at Turkey, I think he also made some economic improvements, which maybe in these days, because there are a lot of political troubles within Turkey, that you don't really see the things that he have done economically. But he also made from Turkey a very stable country with low inflation rate, where banks don't fall, you know. So
It's interesting. You say you don't like Geert Wilders,
yeah.
but you do like Donald Trump. Many
Yeah.
people say they are the same. You see a difference.
Like I believe that Geert Wilders is somebody that is his whole life involved in politics. He is also was a VVD politician, but then he moved away and he started his own party. And I think you cannot compare this to Trump, because like Trump, he didn't have to do anything with politics, and now he moved into politics, and I think that's a great way, because I think in the end politics should about moving people into positions that really understand the industry. Like Minister of Healthcare should be somebody that is really involved in healthcare, not somebody who's involved in politics. And I think that Trump is the guy that's going to change this situation, not only for America but for multiple countries. I think like maybe after 10 years people will take an example from Donald Trump, and maybe Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates also says, okay, I want to do something politically.
Do you think the election of Trump got into the minds of people here in Holland and made them think during the election
I
here?
think so. Like we have a new party here, Forum for Democratie, and they are a completely new party, just started out of nowhere, and they have 2 seats in the parliament now. They have gained it out of nothing. And one guy, I don't know, the party leader, Thierry Baudet, I'm not really interested in him, so I don't know a lot of him. But his second guy, Theo Hiddema, is a lawyer, and so he's like also somebody from a different disciplinary going into politics. And I think in the end, if we want to keep innovating and keep growing the economy, we need to collaborate with people from interdisciplinary fields. So yeah, I think Donald Trump has also maybe inspired people in the Netherlands. I'm not sure if it is, but I think he will.
Final question: what one word, one Dutch word, tells me your mood for the future?
Welvaart. It's economic growth, maybe.
Very good. Thank you, Dr. Well. Thank you.